Hey guys, how are you doing? Today in this video we are going to talk about volcanoes. So volcanic eruption is, it seems that it is only the topic which is related to geography, but not. It is interdisciplinary topic, and as far as geography is concerned, it has to do with geomorphology, plate tectonics. When it comes to science and technology, it has to do with geological science. For example, SiO2, silica. Silica is there in volcanic eruption. And science and technology part has to do with aviation technology and risk. For example, it has to do with environment also, because it has to do with pollution, atmospheric circulation and pollution. International relationship, for example, real-time data, sharing between different countries during volcanic eruption. Why we are going to talk about this topic? Because recently we have seen Ethiopian volcano which erupts after 12,000 years, right? And that ash, volcanic ash, is traveled, for example, if you can see it, it travels 14 kilometer high and reaches India. And during those days, DGCA, Director General of Civil Aviation, which is India's aviation safety regulator, it issued an urgent operational advisory to all Indian airlines, asking them to strictly avoid volcanic ash hit areas, at this 14 kilometer height, right? So let's talk about first volcanoes. What is volcano? So you must have gone through the basic science or basic geography part of the volcano. And let's begin this discussion with basic geography first, right? Okay, so volcano is what? This comes from the term volcano, comes from the term volcan. And volcan is basically, अगर हम वल्कन की बारे में बात करें तो वल्कन क्या है? रोमन गॉड ऑफ फायर. ओके, दिस इज रोमन गॉड ऑफ फायर, है ना. सो इट हैज टू डू विद फायर. इसका मतलब इसका फायर से लेना देना है ना. वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस. सो वोल्केनो इज अ प्लेस वेयर गैसेस, एसेस एंड और मोल्टन रॉक मटेरियल, लावा एस्केप टू द ग्राउंड. तो अगर हम अर्थ की ज्योग्राफी की बात करें, बेसिक ज्योग्राफी यू मस्ट हैव डन इट, एंड आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू रिमाइंड यू. सो इट इज नियरली स्फेरिकल इन सर्विस, in shape, but earth is not strictly sphere. Let me tell you quickly, it is called geoid shape. It has its unique shape, and if you look it from very high, very far away, then it is perfectly square. Okay, so you should understand all these things. So spherical shape, right? So it is basically a relative term. The inside part which I am showing, this is the basic funda. If I consider it a spherical shape, so this one, अगर हम अर्थ की जो रेडियस है, इट इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली व्हाट? इट इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली 6400 किलोमीटर. द फर्स्ट पार्ट इज कॉल्ड क्रस्ट. दिस इज क्रस्ट. लेट मी टेल यू, दिस पोर्शन इज कॉल्ड क्रस्ट, and this is approximately 100 kilometer, right? This crust is approximately 100 kilometer. Then you have inside this crust, we have this something called mantle, and finally we have this core, है ना. और कोर के अंदर भी क्या है? लिक्विड स्टेट, एंड फाइनली इनसाइड इट इज सॉलिड. सो इफ यू गो डाउन, डीप डाउन इनसाइड द अर्थ, व्हाट यू सी, द क्रस्ट, दिस इन दिस डायग्राम, एंड दिस इज टेकन फ्रॉम NCERT ओनली. सो क्रस्ट इज 100 किलोमीटर थिक. देन यू गो डाउन, यू हैव मेंटल, एंड देन यू हैव कोर व्हिच इज फर्स्ट, अराउंड 3000 किलोमीटर और 2900 किलोमीटर you get. So this distance is around, let me tell you, if this is 100, then up to this distance is around 2900 kilometers. Okay, from the surface. तो 100 किलोमीटर है ये वाली सरफेस. देन अगर हम सरफेस अंदर जाते हैं तो 2900 किलोमीटर पे आपको क्या मिल जाएगा? You get core, and core has two parts. Outer core is in liquid state and inside core is in solid state. And total you have around 64, this radius of the earth. Basic science हमने किया होगा, 6400 kilometer. Okay, all right. So as we go deep down, let me tell you the basic science. Why this part is has to do with science, because that as you go down there is temperature, and that is called, let me tell you. Okay, तो जैसे जैसे हम अंदर जाते हैं तो इसका टेम्परेचर भी क्या होता है? बढ़ता जाता है. There is one layer called asthenosphere, and this asthenosphere is basically weaker zone. Okay, this asthenosphere is weaker zone in mantle, है ना. तो मेंटल में एक कौन सी जोन है? बेसिकली वीकर जोन है, फ्रॉम वेयर मोल्टन रॉक्स, दिस मटेरियल कम आउट. सो मोल्टन, यहां से अगर ये वीक है तो यहां से कोई भी चीज क्या हो जाएगी? सरफेस पे आ जाएगी. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस मैग्मा, एंड दिस मूविंग मैग्मा इज कॉल्ड बेसिकली लावा. आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दैट शॉर्टली. ओके, बट लेट मी टेल यू फर्स्ट व्हाई दिस इज हैपनिंग. देयर इज हीट इनसाइड द अर्थ, तो अर्थ के अंदर क्या है, एज यू गो डाउन, as you go deep down inside earth, let me tell you basic science, temperature increases. What increases? Temperature increases, and this particular temperature increasing is called geothermal gradient. Okay, this particular thing is called geothermal gradient, है ना? ये जो geothermal gradient है, it says the temperature increases around 25 to 30 degree Celsius per kilometer, deep. जैसे जैसे आप अंदर जाओगे तो टेम्परेचर क्या होने वाला है, इंक्रीज होने वाला है इस तरह से. ओके, एंड दिस इज नॉट ट्रू फॉर वेरी डीप डाउन, बिकॉज वहां पर टेम्परेचर थोड़ा सा स्लो क्या करता है, मूव करता है. ऑलराइट, ओके, व्हाई देयर इज हीट, एंड दिस हीट, इनसाइड हीट इज, इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ऑल जियोलॉजिकल प्रोसेसेस, है ना? जियोलॉजिकल प्रोसेसेस जो है सभी के लिए क्या है, ये हीट क्या है, रिस्पॉन्सिबल है. दिस हीट कम्स फ्रॉम प्राइमोर्डियल, दिस इज प्राइमोर्डियल हीट. प्राइमोर्डियल हीट मतलब जब अर्थ बन रही थी तो छोटे छोटे जो प्लैनेटेसिमल, दे आर कॉल्ड प्लैनेटेसिमल, राइट? They were moving and this kinetic energy was converted into heat energy. And another one is radiological heat, radioactive decay, radiological heat, okay? Radiological heat. And this heat is responsible for geological processes like plate tectonics, है ना? तो plate tectonics में क्या होते हैं, जो lithospheric plates होते हैं, they keep on moving. Alright, okay? So this is how it is. And volcanoes, most volcanoes, so volcanic activity basically, it has to do with this heat, okay? This heat, right? तो अगर हम नॉर्मली बात करें तो जो वोल्केनो है, तो वोल्केनो में क्या है, जो मैग्मा है बेसिकली, तो वीकर जोन से क्या होता है, मोल्टन रॉक कम्स आउट, दैट इज कॉल्ड मैग्मा. तो ये जो रीजन है, यहां से क्या होता है, मैग्मा बाहर आता है ना? तो मैग्मा क्या है, मोल्टन रॉक. व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज मोल्टन रॉक, है ना? और ये जो मूविंग मैग्मा है, दिस इज कॉल्ड, मूविंग मैग्मा इज कॉल्ड लावा. तो लेट मी टेल यू, दिस मूविंग मैग्मा is called lava. Okay, and if you were to ask, so lava है ना, लावा क्या है? अगर आप नॉर्मली देखोगे तो जो लावा है वो कितने टाइप का होता है, दो टाइप का होता है. दिस लावा, है ना? अगर मैं आपको बताऊं नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में मे बी, सो दिस लावा इज ऑफ टू टाइप. वन इज कॉल्ड बेसिक लावा, है ना, बेसिक केमिस्ट्री में, एंड एसिडिक लावा. अगर आपको बेसिक केमिस्ट्री ध्यान आ रही हो तो द pH ऑफ दिस लावा इज व्हाट? pH of this lava is greater than 7. That this is what makes it, basic lava. And pH of this lava acidic is less than 7. Okay, so let me tell you, तो इसमें क्या है, ये hottest होता है. Basic lava is what? Hottest. The temperature goes around 100 degrees Celsius. Just remember this thing. Okay, and also just all right. Okay, and let me tell you, it is highly fluid, है ना? ये कैसा होता है, हाईली फ्लूइड होता है. ओके, दिस वन एसिडिक लावा इज हाईली फ्लूइड. दिस इज रिच इन आयरन एंड मैग्नीशियम एंड पुअर इन सिलिका, राइट? तो रिच इन आयरन एंड मैग्नीशियम, इसमें तो ये रिच होता है, बट इट इज पुअर इन सिलिका. जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, इट इज पुअर इन सिलिका. अगर मैं इस एसिडिक लावा की बात करूं तो ये क्या होता है, हाईली विस्कस, है ना, विस्कोसिटी, है ना, विस्कस फोर्स. तो फ्लूइड में जो फोर्स लगता है, फ्लूइड फ्रिक्शन, विस्कस बोले तो fluid friction is called viscous. For example, honey is more viscous than normal oil, right? Then it has rich in silica. It is rich in silica. Okay, उसके अलावा अगर मैं बात करूं तो यहां से सील्ड टाइप के माउंटेन बनते हैं ना, सील्ड वोल्केनोस बेसिकली, है ना? So we are not going to get into details of all those things. So volcanoes can be active. तो volcano eruption कैसे होता है, basically it has to do with how heat beneath the earth surface moves. That is what, है ना? So deep down the earth, what is, rock slowly melt to become thick, and this moving magma is called, lava. All right, okay. तो अगर आपको ये कटिंग यहाँ पे दिख रही है, this is newspaper cutting. It says as these chambers fill up, pressure exerted on the surrounding rocks increases. Eventually, some of the magma pushes through the cracks, particularly in asthenosphere, which is एथिनोस्फीयर इज बेसिकली वीकर जोन, है ना? तो आपको ये बेसिक आइडिया आपके दिमाग में रहना चाहिए. ऑलराइट, ओके. तो वोल्केनिक इरप्शन में द मैग्मा दैट हैज इरप्टेड कॉल्ड लावा, जो बाहर आ जाता है उसको क्या बोलते हैं, लावा बोलते हैं. वोल्केनोस कैन बी एक्टिव, डोरमेंट एंड एक्सटिंक्ट, है ना? एंड all the volcanoes, they pass through these stages and no one knows exactly if they are extinct or not. For example, recently Mount Vesuvius, they were believed, and another one is Krakatau, that was once believed extinct. They recently erupted. So remember all these things. All right. Okay. So this is the basic part of volcano eruption. And let me tell you why this was in news. You know, and आपको अगर मैं कुछ example बताऊं, for example, the Stromboli, you know, this volcano is of the Sicily, you know, Sicily. So Sicily is basically where this Sicily is in Italy, right? Just remember this thing, okay? There are other, you know, volcanoes also which are important for you. For example, I have told you Krakatoa, which is in Indonesia. This is caldera type of volcano. If you know about called caldera, calderas are very you know, explosive. You know, there are caldera are very explosive. They are explosive volcanoes. Just remember, they are you know, very explosive volcanoes. You know, they are, right. So they usually, when they erupt, they tend to collapse on themselves rather than building any tall structure. They are, and these depressions are called calderas. You know, that is the name comes from. Then we have, for example, Mount Pelee. Mount Pelee is in Caribbean side, okay, which is composite volcano. Composite volcanoes are comparatively cooler and more viscous lava. You know, they have more viscous lava, right? They often result in less explosion, right? Just remember these things. Okay, then we have Mount Fuji, which is in Japan, which is also a composite one. Mount Vesuvius, I have told you about, it is in Italy. Okay, I'm not writing all those names, you don't need to. Okay, so if you want to write Mount Fuji, you know, Mount Fuji, it is in Japan. Just remember, okay, some of these, you know, I was talking about Mount Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius, you know, this is also volcano which is important, you should know. It is in Italy, right? This is Stromboli, this is in the diagram, it is in Italy, right? Barren Island in India, just remember, Barren Island, it is in India. So these are important, you know, volcanoes, right? So let me tell you what was in news. This one, Hyali Gubbi, you know, Hyali Gubbi is sealed volcano, Afar, Ethiopian, and a member of the Eta LA range, right? So remember this thing. This is located at the edge of East African Rift, where African and Arabian plates are slowly pulling apart. This is divergent, है ना? So divergent type of boundaries are there. Sealed volcano is a broad, gently sloping volcano that consists of many thin and fluid lava, where lava flows, right? Its eruptions are typically less explosive, so the lava spread out wide like a warrior shield. इसलिए इसका नाम क्या पड़ा था? Sealed volcano पड़ा है, ठीक है? Dark basaltic lavas हैं, but also contains silica rich, and this silica is important because they have rocks like trachylites and rhyolites, and these lighter magma can trap more dissolved gases, so when they rise, they are more likely to erupt explosively and throw ash high into the atmosphere. And why this was in news, let me tell you. This volcanic eruption basically which was there, so when aircraft, you know, why it was dangerous for the plane, let me tell you. When this air, you know, when this air ash, you know, volcanic ash basically, when this volcanic ash, it gets inside this plane, it goes to the jet engine, है ना? And jet engine क्या है, let me tell you. In this place, jet engine temperature is as high as 1500 degree Celsius. Remember this thing, okay? और उसमें जैसे ही सिलिका जाएगा, सिलिका मेल्ट्स, यू नो, तो आप थोड़ा सा फिजिक्स समझने की कोशिश करना. जेट इंजन के जो अंदर जो टेम्परेचर है, दिस टेम्परेचर इज अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1500 डिग्री सेल्सियस, बट सिलिका SiO2, दिस सिलिका, यू नो, इसका जो मेल्टिंग पॉइंट है, मेल्टिंग पॉइंट क्या है, 1000 डिग्री सेल्सियस ओनली. सो व्हाट विल हैपन once this silica, you know, once this volcanic ash, which is like a powdered glass, enters engine's combustion chamber, it melts, and when it melts, it changes something called molten gases, you know, so it will be like molten gas. और जैसे ये molten gas में होगा तो उसके कारण क्या होगा, it goes to the turbine blades and it could deposit, you know, it goes to turbine blades, है ना? और टर्बाइन ब्लेड्स में जाने के बाद ये क्या हो जाएगी, यहां पर क्या हो जाएगी, चिपक जाएगी, यू नो, इट बिल्ड्स अप हियर. तो होगा क्या, जो इंजन वो बंद हो जाएगा, है ना? इट बिल्ड्स अप हियर एंड इट कुड फॉर्म अ लेयर, यू नो, ग्लास लेयर इज फॉर्म्ड व्हिच प्रिवेंट ब्लेड्स फ्रॉम फंक्शनिंग. तो इट बिल्ड्स अप, तो उसके कारण क्या होगा, बेसिकली दिस लेयर will prevent, this level will prevent, this layer will prevent, you know, ब्लेड्स फंक्शनिंग वेल, ब्लेड फंक्शनिंग, है ना. और क्या हो जाएगा, what will happen, the result will be engine shutting down, है ना. तो engine shutting down, and once engine shut down it will be a disaster, simple. This is the idea, you know, there will be a disaster. और अगर आपने इसलिए न्यूज सुनी हो तो DGCA, as I have talked earlier, you know, it has what it has done basically, so we have discussed in our discussion, you know. तो जैसे ही न्यूज पता चली कि ये हैली गुबी जो इथियोपियन वोल्केनो जैसे इरप्ट हुआ, तो DGCA has done what, it issued urgent operational advisory to all Indian airlines to avoid strictly avoid, you know, volcanic ash, otherwise it could have, you know, resulted into disaster, you know. That's why it was in news. Okay, so go through all these things, you know. Let me show you one question which was there in preliminary examination. The Barren Island volcano is an active volcano located in Indian territory. Go through it. Barren Island lies about 140 km east of Great Nicobar, and the last time Barren Island volcano erupted was in 1991, and it has remained inactive since then. UPSC Prelims 2018 का एक question है. Go through it. Go through NCERT books. You know, I have talked to you about few volcanoes, and which includes, you know, Barren Island volcano. Let me tell you which was active volcano. You know, so it is an active volcano. तो मैंने एक तो आपको बता ही दिया है ना? And then you have to you know, go through about all these terms your own, so that you could find the answer. And once you find the answer, please comment below. Right? I am also giving you one question for mains writing. Volcanic activity through preliminary or primarily, sorry, a geophysical process. It has significant implication for modern aviation, है ना. तो aviation के बारे में question है, and it says explain the science behind volcanic eruption and the formation of volcanic ash. How does volcanic ash impact aircraft engine and flight operation? Illustrate your answer with recent global examples. Okay, so you can give the examples of this, है ना. उसके अलावा एक और मैं आपको बता देता हूं. इन मैक्सिको देयर इज वन रिसेंटली इन मैक्सिको कंपोजिट वोल्केनो इज देयर, नेमली Popocatépetl, you know, something, you know, it is called Popocatépetl, and it was erupted. So go through all these things, right? If you like this video, don't forget to hit like, share button. Don't forget to share with your friends. Comment answer below the video, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. See you guys until next time. Till then, goodbye. Thank you very much.